Yeah.
Hello, welcome everyone. I should close this chat. That's a good start. Welcome everyone to Into the
Probably.
Geekdom podcast. I am the Chef Mike, joined here once again by Dev, who is now under the Northern Lights tonight. From the looks of it, that's good to see. Before
Why
we
not?
before we get into it, though, I do have plans to continue to grow this particular show, including getting an actual theme music put together and some other stuff like actual backgrounds and stuff like that. I wasn't the original producer. Dev knows that I wasn't supposed to be the original producer. I was supposed to be just the voice talent.
I was gonna say I wasn't even supposed to be here.
No, I was supposed to be the voice talent and host, and my friend Vord was supposed to be the producer, who just kind of sits in the background and asks questions once in a while. That didn't work out because he's an interesting man. It's the last time I get a Costa Rican to help me with this stuff.
Vord is yes. We just go with that. Vord is yes.
So yes, we'll continue that on. Hello, Skip. Speaking of Skip, there too, Skip Starhopper will be on the show on November 9th as well. He's also an aspiring author. Devil actually pointed me out to him, but he's also a streamer, so we'll talk to him on November 9th. But we have a current author here now that actually used to be in charge of me. I don't know why. I don't know how she got to that point. She is an amateur author who actually did pretty well on her first release. The book, and I had the title right here, and I keep forgetting the title. Time, Swords, and Blood. And I have the author here, Hannah or Ham. How are you? Like the meat. How are you doing? It's been a long time since I actually talked to you.
Yeah, like we message on Facebook, but like that's like the extent of everything, and it's usually me being like, "What's that recipe?"
Yeah. What's that thing you just made? I like.
Yeah, you literally just posted about it. I need to know.
Well, yeah, because I left that job and then just started doing new things, like going to camp, and then went to the retirement home for a while. That was a horrible time during the pandemic, but obviously hindsight, right? Like.
Yeah.
I didn't know how bad it was gonna be at that point. So and now I'm in a gluten-free bakery. So, thank you for the cash for your own show, there, Dev. It's good to see you.
Of course. Gotta do it, right?
So yes, we have our very own first author on here, which is great to see. And thank you for the hydrate. So we're gonna get right into it. Why did you decide, like, cause you your background's cooking? Why did you decide, look, I'm just going to write a book. I'm going to get right into it. I'm just going to get it done.
All right. So ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to be a published author. I used to write like most teenage girls, we had like we write like fan fiction somewhere.
Yeah.
And I wrote fan fiction about my friends in high school.
Oh,
so like
no.
every week I was putting out like this like chapter of like my friends' fan fiction, and my friends are like, "When's the next chapter coming out?" It's so bad. It's so bad. It's still on the internet. It's so bad. And like it's so bad.
I have my first thing out there too still. It's like a cringy poetry book that I made.
Yeah,
it's
but,
not
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
What my book came from, I wrote like a really brief comic in college. When I was in culinary school, I wrote the comic, and I had the intention of like continuing the comic, but between school, I was just like, this is a lot of effort for me. I'll just switch to writing about it instead of meticulously drawing it out and like putting out one page, which is nothing, every week. So I took those characters and that world, and then I just kind of ran with it. And originally I wanted to publish by the time I was 30, and that didn't happen. So at the beginning of this year, yeah. So like at the beginning of this year, like I had like a big chunk of this done. So I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this and I'm gonna get it out before Christmas, and that's what I did. So.
And like,
that was kind of like the line.
You were just like, you know what? I just want to get this done. Was it like I have to get it done now, or I'm never gonna get to it, kind of thing?
No, like I don't know, maybe it's like the neurospicy in me, but like my particular blend is like once I decide something, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I decided I wanted to become a yoga instructor, so I did it. I decided I wanted to get certified as PSW, so went and did it. I decided I wanted to get my book out before the end of the year, so I did it.
See,
Yeah.
ADHD brain is like, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Wait, let's do this thing too.
That.
And this other thing.
Yeah. Well, that.
20 things later.
I think it's.
Hyperfixation is
Yeah.
a sweet thing.
I think it's where Hannah. I think it's where Hannah and I connect on that. It was like we have like 8 different things on the go. It's just a matter of executing it and finishing it.
Yeah, see, with me, like I said, with me, it's I'm gonna do this thing. Oh wait, I want to do this thing. Oh wait, what about this thing?
Yeah.
20 things later. What was that first thing I was gonna do again?
I
You
think.
gotta make a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then I get distracted making the list.
Deb needs like a secretary to keep track of him. Like for a while, he had a friend Cheeky who would like I make appointments through her to tell him
Pretty much.
because he'll forget and she'll be like, "I'll tell Debbie, don't worry."
I mean, legitimately, he freaking mentioned this last week, and I completely forgot until he mentioned it again yesterday.
And I know him enough to do that.
Surprise!
And Skip's like, I feel that. Yeah, I think a lot of us, especially in this community, like this dorky community in general, we're all like that because we have like
To be fair,
1,000 different
this has been a rough
fascinations.
year.
Yeah, no, like it's you attract you attract people like you, so
Yeah, we're like-minded. A lot of us are like-minded. Yeah.
To be fair, it's been a rough year.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people in our community has been. I know for Yeti has been, for Zod and Nebby, like all the core people from my group, it's been a rough year. So I've had to help make sure we stay on top of things because it's just everyone's gonna have a bad year sometimes. I know Dev has. I know Yuri and like Ken, like all of you guys have had pretty rough years. It's been a rough one for us this year.
I'm ready for the year to be over.
yeah, like honestly.
4 months, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. 2 more months and you're done. So who are some of the authors that inspired you growing up?
Okay, so one of them is my all-time favorite author, Maggie Stiefvater. She writes mostly young adult fiction,
Okay.
like paranormal, something that she calls like wonder. That's like how
Okay.
she coins it, is literally wonder.
I've actually
And-
heard of her. She's really good.
Yeah, there hasn't been a book that she has written that I haven't liked.
Okay.
And
That makes sense.
Yeah, she's so funny, and they say don't meet your heroes, but I met her a few years ago because she came to town to talk about one of her books when she was on tour, and like she showed up and she had like this dragon scale leather jacket.
Oh, that's sick.
She's like, yeah. She's like, guys, you want to see me do something cool? And we're all like, yeah.
Yeah?
She whipped up her bagpipes and started playing.
What?
It was
That's-
really, really awesome.
That's actually
That's
really
pretty
cool. Thank you for the hydrate, Gwen.
Yeah, so like she and her book Shiver, which is one of her earlier books, was one of the first books that or the first book that I read in 3 days, and I think it still holds my personal record.
I was gonna say record.
Yeah,
For,
my
for
personal
me,
record.
it's the
So.
7th Harry Potter book.
Oh.
I read it in freaking 2 days.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. That's impressive.
So for you, Deb, is it J.K. Rowling for you?
Sorry?
Huh?
Is it for you, Deb? Is it J.K. Rowling then?
No.
No, you just like that book in particular.
So, I was always one of those people in high school and school where I was in the back of the classroom doing my own thing,
Okay.
and my parents always tell me I love to read, even when I was a child. And you know how in English class the teachers are like, "All right, we're gonna read this book. Go home, read a chapter." I'd come in, answer the paperwork, and then they'd be like, "Okay, you guys can read the next chapter or whatever," and I'd be sitting there.
Yeah, I did that once and my teacher got really mad.
Why aren't you reading why aren't you doing the assignment? I might have already finished reading the book. And like,
That was
you were only
that was the opposite of me. Like, if it wasn't a book I wanted to read, it would take me 10
Yeah.
hours to get through
If
it.
I didn't like it, I'm like, I'm not doing this book ever. It's not gonna happen.
see, with me, it was with me. It's if you don't catch me in the first like 10, 15 pages,
Yeah,
then bye bye book.
that's
They
the
say
rule of thumb I have too.
the first paragraph is one of the most important things you can have in a book, and the first 3 pages. If someone isn't like caught in there, then it's probably not for them.
Yeah, because
See, I go with the first 15 just because of the ADHD.
yeah, that's true too. Like for me, it's like a lot of the most famous quotes from books are from the first paragraph. Like
Interesting.
yeah, like for example, the most famous quote from Tolkien was, "In a hole there lived a hobbit." That was the first sentence of the original version of the book.
I mean, one of the most famous first lines of any book was "The best of times was the worst of times."
Yeah. If you don't hook someone in that first paragraph, you're gonna lose. I think it's like 60 to 70% of the people reading it. So when you're writing something, you have to like really make sure people are hooked to it. That's why I think a lot of the starting for me was like hard, because I was like, I have to make sure this first page hooks, or I'm sunk before I even release this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important to get that through. And like, I had a lot of good feedback at my book launch party because I read them the first chapter of the book, and everyone's like, sold. I'm like,
Great, great, it's good. That's good. So like, what was the process like for you of getting all of it together?
So since like I've published a book, and like when I was talking about publishing a book, my dad got like really excited because when I was a kid, I refused to read. He tried to get me in on like the Harry Potter thing. Like, he knew before Harry Potter blew up that it was gonna blow up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get her in there before it gets big. She's gonna like be part of this whole generation." Blah 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 blah. And like, I just refused to read past the first 3 pages of the original Harry Potter book, and I actually have like one of the first runs
Wow.
in Canada with Dumbledore having the short beard instead of the long one.
Damn.
That is an old copy, yeah.
And I just like, I never got into it as a kid, and he even tried taking me to the movies once it started getting big to try to like get me to hook on, because I loved movies as a kid. And I was just like, no, you can't do it. So when he found out that not only am I reading now, but I'm publishing a book, he got really excited, and he's like, you've inspired me to write my own books. And though he's been asking me about the process, and he's like looking up like how people do their books, and it's just like, oh, like, write storyboarding and write this out and do each chapter like this. And I'm like, nah, just write what you got in your brain and then make it fit.
Yeah, there are definitely different methods. I know, for example, reading George R. R. Martin stuff, he made every character first and then pieced it together in between, because he felt like that was the best way to do it. I wanted to finish this character's arc before I move to the next character's arc, and then I connect all the lines in between. But you sometimes can't always do that. He just had 50 characters, so you have to like figure out a plan to put it together. Whereas Tolkien, he was just writing it for himself, for his kids.
Yeah, because he designed the language and then wrote a book around it.
Because he's a professional linguist. His job was a professor in linguistics. He was not an author.
And I mean, if you believe everything that you hear, Charles Dickinson, he actually let the characters write their own stories in his head. Like, the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, Future, they were all telling him what to write.
Yeah. Or like, there's a recent Canadian success story in Jeff Lemire. He started off as a comic book guy, then wrote graphic novels with beautiful descriptions, wrote whole long stories. Then he got a Netflix deal. The show Sweet Tooth. The show Sweet Tooth on Netflix is Jeff Lemire. Yeah, he's a Canadian guy who started off as a graphic novelist, and he's like, oh man, no one's ever gonna read this stuff. And then graphic novels just picked up, like, and then he took off. He's a great success story of it, and makes beautiful stuff. One of his stuff is coming out soon. It's called Essex County, which is a great story. So I can't wait to see that miniseries.
Nice.
For me, it's like, obviously I love Tolkien. I like Ken Follett, Baldacci, David Baldacci, DJ McHale, which is like one of my like. I had teen dramas like that too, but it was like a time traveling one too. And it's called It's the Pendragon series, and that's a really good series. There's like,
Nice.
I think there's 8 or 9 of them, but I didn't read them all because I got too old at some point.
Yeah, see, my memory, I can't tell you who my favorite author was back when I was young.
My first big book when I was a kid that hooked me was the Chronicles of Narnia, which I still have after 30 years.
I don't want to tell you what my first big book was.
Oh, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Twilight.
You know,
I
that's fair.
thought you're a little.
Yeah.
I thought you'd have been a little too old for Twilight.
I was right when it took off. I was right there. I wrote a comic about a Twilight fan and a Harry Potter fan fighting, and it took off on DeviantArt.
That's the thing. Like, I guess for you it works because like she started off the same way as you. I wrote a fan fiction.
Yeah.
She started off writing fan fictions and it took off. The same with the person that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. She's writing that as fan fiction, and then
it was Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah. It all connects.
It all connects.
So you never know. A lot of those people started off as fan fiction writers.
Yeah, no, and I feel really good about my book because like other Canadian authors like Ellen Montgomery and Margaret Atwood, they are also November babies like me. They also love cats like me, and they both published for the first time in their 30s. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like.
So what is your book about? Like just in general.
Like the general when people are like, what's your book about, and like if I have to give them like one sentence, I always say I'm like, it's about a time traveler who gets yanked out of her time traveling machine and displaced on another world. But it's like it's a hero's journey. Like it's much more than just that. And like she's an unreliable narrator because she has no fucking clue what's going on. Excuse my language. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's okay. It doesn't matter here.
But yeah, she has no idea what's going on. And like you're living it like because I wrote it in first person, and
right.
So you're living it as this character is living it. So like you don't really know what's going on, obviously, because she doesn't, and you're just kind of following her journey from like getting to this world and like to the end of the book. And my intention with it is because like in the book, the universe, it's canon that reincarnation happens.
Okay.
So when I make more to the series, you're not necessarily following the same characters, but you're following the same spirit. So if I get fans, they can be like, "Oh,
okay,
this character from this book is this character from this other book."
So what I'm gathering,
I like that.
for
buy me the book?
For simplicity, I might if you want, Dev. Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Can it get shipped to Boston?
Boston?
So it's actually available on the Barnes & Noble website.
There you go. So I can figure it out for you, Dev.
I was gonna say you have my address.
I figured out.
It's available on Barnes & Noble. It's available on Amazon. But if you want a signed copy, you have to buy it directly from me.
So what I can surmise, your book sounds like a mixture of like Outlander and Doctor Who.
So a lot of people, because I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
I got the reincarnation. I gathered that part. Yeah.
No, every time someone's like time travel, reincarnation, I'm like, guys, like these people actually die, and like then their spirit comes back. It's not like Doctor Who, like he's still
yeah.
body,
it does seem more like Outlander, but it's not not a problem.
It's Doctor Who fan fiction.
Is it really? See?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
My mom's a big fan. I read her the synopsis of your thing, and she's like, it just sounds like Outlander.
Yeah, no, it is. Outlander is Doctor Who fan fiction. So, the woman who wrote Outlander, she was watching Doctor Who in like one of the older episodes. I can't remember which Doctor it was, but there was a Scottish man from like the 1700s named James or Jamie in that episode, and she just wanted to know more about his life. Like he is a one-off character in Doctor Who, and she's like, I'm gonna write about it, and she did.
Yeah. My mom's watched. My mom doesn't watch Doctor Who, but knows and loves that show, the Outlander.
Yeah.
So
it is Doctor Who fan
So
fiction. You can tell your mom that.
did you say what inspired your book in particular though? Like
This book, so when you read it, I know, like, I'm a big fan of Dragon Age. Like, Dragon Age was a big inspiration behind it. Um, Doctor Who obviously had influences on it. My darling husband says that he can see, like, because he knows about, like, the rest of the series as
mhm,
well.
mhm.
And he sees, like, things from, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender as well.
I feel
So,
like
like,
that's probably one of the hard things to actually do is find the inspiration.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like, I also, like, I've always been a creative person. So, like, I've always been creating, like, worlds and stories and this, that, and the other. And I've just kind
Same.
of, like, gathered my favorites throughout the year and just kind of, like, smushed it all together to make this happen. So, like, in the main series that I'm going to start, like, this is technically a prequel,
Okay.
or technically a standalone, but, like, when the rest of the series starts happening, my intention is that people who are reading the main series come back to it, because there's, like, a single moment that happens in future books that will make you come back to this, and then everything kind of falls into
So
place.
you're kind of writing your own Hobbit, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's canon, but it doesn't necessarily have to connect to the main series.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, this book takes place at the end of a 1,000-year war.
Okay.
And yeah, and in the main series, they talk about this war like a cautionary tale. Like, they don't actually know if it happened or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
because it
you do
happens.
you pull it from actual like historical references for yourself?
No,
Okay,
no.
so it's your own like complete universe.
Yes, it's my own complete
Okay,
universe.
that's interesting then. All right.
Yeah. So, like, the main character, technically, like, if you're looking for, like, oh, where is she from? Because she is from Earth, but it's obviously not our Earth.
Right.
And yeah, so it's like alternate universe if you
Mm-hmm.
want to go
Mm-hmm.
like that, or it's in our future because she's born in the future. Like, if you're paying enough attention to, like, things that she says, you can be like, oh, like, this, she's from our future, so, like, time travel is happening in our future, and then people can come back to it. And she's also, like, if you're looking at the right things that she's saying, she's Canadian, because, like, I don't think enough Canadians don't get enough like, they don't get talked about enough in regular media for me. So
Mm-hmm.
she is technically, like, she's a Canadian person that's also a time traveler, and she
Okay.
just gets
Yeah.
stuck to, like, another world. Like, she's not on Earth in the majority of the book. So
Okay.
yeah.
So like is it like is it like a medieval time period thing or is it like
Yeah, so, like it has, like, a medieval kind of vibe, but,
okay.
like, it's not there's swords, there's magic, there's a whole pantheon of gods that I made.
So it's kind of like
You get to learn.
like a King Arthur-esque thing where it's like completely kind of a made up little universe thing.
Yeah, but, like, I'm also one of those, like, what word am I looking for? Crap on a cracker. It's like it's conspiracy theorists. I'm one of those
Okay.
conspiracy theorists that believe, like, like, King Arthur was a thing. Like, I just think it's more fun.
Yeah, or like Robin Hood actually existed too. Like
Yeah, like, it's just more fun. It's
yeah.
just more fun.
It's true.
So, like, I'm
Yeah.
one of those. But yeah, so then, like, with this, like, this book, like, this could happen, and, like, just like Doctor Who, like, time is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Mhm.
Like, this, this person, is from our future, but, like, she's in, like, the past of this other planet. So,
Okay.
like, it's just, like, this whole, like, it's a fantasy book with, like, some sci-fi in there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, I could read you whoa, cat. Sorry. My cat just, like, zoomed on, like, right beside me when I was, like, trying to grab my book. But, like, I could read you the back of it if you wanted, because, like,
Absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead.
okay. So after time travel was achieved 50 years ago, Delilah is now the proud owner of a machine. At almost 30, she has gotten used to the routine of her daily life. She has two jobs, plans meticulously for relaxing holidays and blasts music when she's experiencing anxiety. Though she craves something and even feels called to a greater cause than herself, Delilah isn't sure if she's ready to move out of her comfort zone. With the chances of disappearing becoming a more common fear for many travelers these days, on the morning of her long-awaited vacation, Delilah hears the news that another person has gone missing with a machine. Free will is one of the few gifts of from the gods, and Delilah discovers she has an additional one. When magic is thrust upon her, Delilah must rediscover who she is in a new world. It was never part of her vacation plans, but stopping a war that has been happening for 1,000 years is not is a lot for one person to achieve alone. Delilah can choose to save the world, or she can choose not to. Only time will tell. So, like,
That's pretty. I like that.
pretty
That's
cute.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike, I need you to buy me the book.
I will do that. I will do that, Dev. I was gonna buy several copies.
It's so like travel machines are also like affordable. Like people can buy them.
That's quite the universe. I wish that was a thing we could do now. I'd go back and
People can live in them and stuff. Like the main character, like she lives in her time machine. It's like a 1-bedroom apartment.
okay, yeah, okay. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
So like from pen to paper, how long did it take you to finally get it all done?
If you ask my husband, he'll say off and on for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
But like I
Yeah.
had like pieces of it, right?
Yes.
For that time. But like once I like hyper focused on it, I had my final draft done end of September this year, and I had started hyper focusing on it in January. So like it just depends on the time you put in and stuff. And
I know mine's been taking years. mine's definitely taking years. But I think the first one's always the most difficult one for people.
yeah.
Like not everyone can be like I'm gonna write 3 a year. Like I don't know how you do that. Like I don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of self-published authors who put out like 2 or 5 a year. And I'm like, I'm gonna put one out every 2 years. I think that's a good pace for me.
Yeah, it's like one of my mom's favorite authors. He does like 3 or 4 a year. Like how are you doing this?
I don't know. Well, like also it's like that's like your full-time job.
Right.
And that's all you have to do, right? And like
Yeah.
the average adult fiction book is like 75 to 100,000 words. My baby is 157,000 words, which to put that in perspective, that's the same word count as The Two Towers by Tolkien.
Oh my god.
She's a hefty girl. But the way I designed her is to make her look less intimidating. Like she doesn't look like she's 157,000 words. She looks like a smaller book because that's the way I designed her. Like she has like a bigger, like this is a 6x9 book. This is
Yeah, it's not like a thick, smaller ones like the original like Lord of the Rings novels look thicker than they are.
I wanted her to be approachable. I wanted her to like kind of draw the eye, and like my cover artist did an amazing job in my opinion, and I just like love like the back, and it's just I love it.
Who was the cover artist?
Their name is Kale Sims. They do commissions all the time.
Perfect.
But I met them through LARP. So,
of course you did.
they're exceptional. They
Great.
worked with me. They gave me like 3 different concepts, and they're like, "Oh, we can take like different pieces from each concept and put it into one." But I'm like, I love all 3. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It took me 10,000 years to pick what is now, and like they just kept throwing like previews at me and being like, hey, how do you like this, how do you like this, and like every time I got a preview, like it just kind of reinvigorated me with my writing and editing process, because I'm like, oh, this makes it so much more real.
Did you do all the editing yourself too?
Yeah. So right now, because I'm a self-published author, I have to finance everything myself.
Yes.
So I picked where I was putting my money. I put my money into buying my domain name for my website and creating my website. I put my money into my cover artist. That's it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, so right now I'm in the process because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, are you gonna have an ebook?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had the choice to put out the ebook at the same time as the print copy, but I had to do a completely different format if I was gonna do ebook, and I just didn't have the space in my mind palace to do that.
Yeah,
So
but at least now with your website, you can do that, and then if you ever get to an audio one, you can have like a link to all of that together,
yeah,
right?
and I think I mentioned to you like when I do an audiobook, I want to bring like friends in who like certain characters and they can voice them, and I think it'll be more fun that way. And I can either do it as like a one shot, so it's like an audio book, or I can do it like a podcast and just do one chapter at a time.
Whatever's easier for
So I
people,
got
yeah.
yeah, I got options. But yeah, so like you can tell that it was edited by me, and I'm in the
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm in the process of because my distributor allows like I can pay them money after 60 days to like re-upload it like a new version and such, like an edit like an updated version or something. If something's wrong, I can do that after 60 days. I have to pay them, which I would gladly do, but I'm still within my 60-day thing, so that's completely free. So I'm presently in the process of fixing things that I miss. So there's there's a that's supposed to be a there. There's a couple things here and there that like not only I notice, but like some of my readers are like, "Hey, did you notice this?" I'm like, "Yes, I did. Thank you." Like
But at
I
least you
just
know
want to
what
get this out.
they have first editions that no one's gonna have.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of marketing it as is like
Hmm.
you have and like I have under 100 copies right now, but out there in the world that's in people's hands,
That's
but I'm
really
gonna
good though.
split. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like it's only been a week,
Yeah,
and I
that's
think I've
good.
sold 62 copies so far.
Wow. Yeah.
And
And Mike's already said you're gonna have at least two more out here.
yeah,
One
Yeah.
in Boston.
yeah. So with it, like when people like I just did a newsletter yesterday, and I'm like, hey, like here's things that people are bringing to my attention. Here's like I know these things. Like here's answers to your questions or comments. Just so like if you're bummed out that you have like the kind of like meh edited version, I'll send you a free bookmark when I get the new books out. Like I don't like that's what you get. I'm a self-published author. Like you get what you get. But like it's not gonna it's just growing pains, and like 10
Mhm.
years from now people are gonna be like, I want one of the original copies that has like these
You know
mistakes.
what? Us nerds
Yep.
love that shit though.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like I want one. Like
People
Yeah.
want the original
And
editions
like
for
at my
shit.
book signing, it was so funny because my best friend, she bought me like one of those like press thingamabobs that like indents paper,
Okay.
and it says like from the collection of Hannah Manders library or something. And I showed her that I had pressed it into my very first copy, that like the very first book that I pulled out of like my box of books when I had them shipped to me for my launch party. I showed her that I had pressed it into like this is the first one I pulled out of the box, and I
Yeah.
pressed the thing into it. And at my party I showed her, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." I'm like, "Do you want me to press your book?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then I started a line for everyone to get their prize. And I'm like, do you really want it to say it's from my library?
You know what,
Like,
though?
yeah, like,
If it
no
turns
one
it-
else is gonna have
yes.
that.
Yeah, the thing is like if it turns into a thing, that could just be the company name of like a publishing thing that you do.
Yeah,
Like-
and it's so cool, and like I love it. I love it so much. It has like a little sword in it and
I'll put it
flowers.
to-
Like it's very me.
Here you go. I'll put it to you this way: if I lived closer or had the money to do so, I would legit drive up there to ask you to do it to a copy for me.
Now Dev wants it. See,
Yeah, no,
see what you started. Now you gotta get everyone to do it.
Yeah, I had actually one girl at my signing. She bought 2 copies, and one of them she got me to write to eBay user and then put like little quotation marks. So one day when I do blow up, like this is what she said to me. She's like, "One day when you do blow up, I'll have this copy and I'm gonna put it on eBay, and whoever buys it, I'll just fill in the blank that you left for me."
That's
like,
kind of
no
funny.
problem.
That's really
And I
funny.
even like did it with like different colored markers so it looks like the eBay color.
Yeah, hell yeah, eBay user, Devil says.
Yeah. So like I thought it was funny. It cracked me right up. So and then I also had like different color markers so I could like sign it to like who like I'm like pick a color. What color do you want? And then so everyone has like a very personalized
Purple.
I think it's really cool. I did the same thing. Actually, I went to a hockey game in Oshawa, and there was an actual author there. It's only his second book, and he personalizes every single one. And he takes forever to do it, but he does. He did the entire game. Steve Dangle,
That's so
and
sweet.
he wrote it. Like I told him like an episode the first episode I saw of his show, and he wrote like a line from that show, and then all that stuff. It was really
I love
cool.
that.
I actually have. I'll grab it. Unless I drop everything.
no,
it's not
like-
bad.
I've started writing so many different things, and
But
it's
yeah.
like
It's cool when you like personalize it. I can't really show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like completely
Oh, that's
personalized. And
Yeah.
I have one from Bret Hart actually too that did that. He personalized it for me too. And that was really cool. I was like one of those like never meet your heroes. It's like, well, I've met some of my heroes, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like
Like me with Maggie Stiefvater, like she signed it, and I actually bought a piece of art from her, because she opens up her Etsy every once in a while, and she's a remarkable artist. And I bought a piece of art from her when like her dog needed emergency surgery. She's like, my dog ate something he wasn't supposed to, so we got to go do some emergency surgery. In other news, everything on my Etsy is 50% off. So I like jumped.
by the way,
I jumped on it. And,
it might be related.
Yeah, and she sent me like a little post-it being like, "Hey, thanks again for helping," and and then signed the post-it note, and I have a signed piece of art from her now, and it's based on my favorite book by her too. So I just have it sitting next to me, like I have 2 copies of that book. And one of them signed by her, and it's just like my little, I love it. And I have my framed post-it note from her, and I have that like in my little working area where I do like all my editing and stuff, at least the area that I set up since moving back to Oshawa and finished my editing there. So it's just like there to sit me, and I'm just like, I'm so happy.
So what will it take for you to become full-time at this?
So I did the math, and if I sold 200 books a month, I could live comfortably.
Oh damn, that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
Though.
If I sell 100 books, I'll just have like some nice like side money, but like 200 bucks a month, I could literally live comfortably. And I would love to do it full time.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of people, like a lot of self-published authors sell under 500 copies of their books, and that's fine.
And it's fine because you gain a niche audience that will keep buying it every time.
yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't necessarily think like I'm gonna take off with this book, but like if I did, that's great. But like maybe like 2 years down the line, 10 years down the line, I get like, because there's a lot of series right now that are completely out or like almost finished, and they're just catching on in the book world.
Yeah, like George R. R. Martin was late.
Yeah, my dad, he's a reader. He was reading Game of Thrones before it like was a thing.
Yeah, me too.
I was a kid,
too. Yeah.
And he was telling me about the Daenerys coming out of the fire.
Yeah.
And he was like so excited about it, and he's like, "Oh, I wish it was a movie or a show. I bet it would look so cool."
And the first,
yeah,
I think the first renditions of it was like in the late 90s.
Yeah,
like he didn't have it up because it was still during the fervor of Lord of the Rings, so it's like nobody was paying attention to anything else. And
and I'm just a big fantasy girly. Like I think what my shirt say, in my fantasy era. Right.
Well, like if this stuff continues, you'll continue to be in your fantasy era, really.
Yeah, that's what I want. And, like I'm wearing like my chainmail leggings right now. You can't see them, but I wore like my plate mail leggings to my my book launch.
That's awesome.
I had my dagger earrings in. I was living it. I was having a great time.
So what's the next step then to get you to like for example, like what would be like the break even point to hit that threshold for you?
Break even. Oh, I did the math once. I would have to make probably $1,000
Which
to
isn't
write one
unreasonable.
because it isn't unreasonable at all. Because like that's just what I spent to. That's what I invested in myself.
Right.
When people buy books from like Barnes and Noble or Amazon, um, the wholesaler gets a discount, and like I set the discount, and you have to set it between 40 and 55%, or they won't take it. And I set it at 55 because then they're more likely to take it. And
It's actually smart
but
business to do
because
that.
it's selling through a wholesaler, they're getting that discount, and then I have to also cover printing costs, so I don't get paid for the printing cost. And then the distributor takes the cut, and then I get what's left over. So by the time that's all said and done, I get like $1.50 from wholesalers.
Devil says she's
But
always
if
in
you
her fantasy era. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are.
But yeah, and then but if you buy directly from me, I'm just covering my printing cost and my shipping cost to get it to me.
Mhm.
So then I'm making much more when you're buying directly from me. Um,
So what you're saying is that when Mike buys me my book, he should buy it right from you.
yeah,
I
technically,
probably
but
would have
you just have a
anyway.
longer wait because you're waiting on me to get my
Yeah.
copies in, and
Yeah.
then I gotta send it out.
Yeah.
Look, listen, look.
What, Dev?
From what you've told me of the book and what you read from the back of the book, worth the wait.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
love it. One of my friends has been power reading it and has been messaging me every time they finish like a section, and it's so fun for me to hear them like ranting about these characters that I've spent like years of my life with.
Hmm.
Right, and anytime they're just like, oh, I have this theory, and I'm like, I know something you don't know. Like it's just fun for me, and I'd love people to like also get invested in these characters, especially because like you're following their spirits throughout this series, right?
Hmm.
And like I just love them. They're just like they're my friends, they're my babies. Like I
Well, you
love
put a lot of
them,
work
and it's
into it,
just
so you should feel that way for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and like it's a fun world for me too, and like I don't know, it's just I enjoy it. And then
Yeah.
like every time I look at the cover, I'm like, because like the cover also it's not the main character on the cover, because I was really meticulous in not describing the main character. Like
Yeah. Okay.
she's a woman, that she's a little bit on the shorter side, and that she has tattoos and piercings. That's about it.
So,
Like I
did you base the main character, like, is it a part of who you are as a person too in this character?
So each character has a little bit of me in them.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
the main character, I have a content warning at the beginning of the book, um, saying like this book contains religious themes, war, descriptions of gore, general violence, swearing, sexual content, death, and a main character who experiences anxiety and panic attacks.
I should probably do something like that at the
That
beginning
is
of mine too.
definitely the anxiety and panic attacks is definitely pulled from me. So
Okay.
like she's in this other world, and like she's having like anxiety and panic attacks, but like she can't really really go through the process that she usually does because she's not in a safe space. So
Okay.
you're kind of like living with that with her too, and
Because
she's kind of like
she's like
trying
a
to
fish
cope
out
with
of
her
water,
anxiety.
so it's like completely like
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
yeah.
Uh,
So like
mean,
each character has a little bit of
I
me
think
in
even
them, and
Deb could relate to that kind of thing, a fish out of water kind of situation foisted upon you.
yeah.
Like when Dev, for example, first came to our Discord, he didn't even talk to us really at first because he was like getting
Oh,
comfortable
and now
he
you're on the
and now
pod.
he's on with
Yeah.
us all the time because it took like Dev could tell you like it took him time to get to that point.
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sure you've even noticed that I keep going silent.
Yeah, he just
That's
It's
fine. You're also just listening too, because like I know I'm a big talker, so
well, it's how I am with new people. So
that's fair.
Devil just said the same thing. She's like, I didn't used to talk to you at all, and it took her months, but she did. And even now, we have a moderator, like our head moderator, doesn't speak to anyone. Like you don't hear on microphone ever.
I can
or
respect that.
or if you do, it's like rare and special occasions.
And only
Yeah, that's like
usually for Yeti.
Yeah,
for the main guy.
that's
I
me
lucked
on
out.
the LARP Discord. Like when I chime in, people are like,
Well, I've met her in person, but
I
yeah.
lucked out because 2 of my sound alerts on my stream.
Or Gwen. Yeah, you're lucky on
I got
that.
her the voice.
You're lucky
that's
on that.
funny.
Yeah, like Gwen. Like, yeah, see, Gwen's talked up like, but we have to have known her for a while to do that,
Yeah.
and she won't do it in like a if we're on stream, she does not talk. It's not gonna happen, and that's perfectly fine for us. Like it doesn't matter for us at all. In fact, it's sometimes funnier when she doesn't, because she'll just do something where like, well, Gwen's gonna kill us here, and you'll see like a little chat pop up, and then she's just like, ha ha ha, like damn it.
Fun fact, there is a character named Gwen in the book, if you want to read it.
There you go. Gwen is a silent killer.
Now,
It's true, Devil. It's true.
now I want to getting back to what you're saying about each character having part of you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of authors out there who say the same thing
Mm-hmm.
because it makes it easier to write the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the same way how some authors base characters off of their friends or people they know. It's just, it comes back to that phrase, like, write what you know.
Yeah, it makes
it makes it easier.
Yeah, like
Which is
gives
also
you that connection.
yeah, like
because like when you're reading, you're reading it, you're just
exactly.
for this particularly, like you'll read characters and be like, which part of this character is Hannah? Oh my god, like.
Right, like for George R.R. Martin, the Sam character is basically him retelling the story to everyone else, because even the show touches on it a bit, kind of like after it fell off the rails.
Yeah.
But the show touches on it. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna write this series called The Song of Ice and Fire. He wrote like the Sam character as himself, looking at everything as a POV, which is I think it was really clever how he did that. And you don't know until the very end that's the whole plan that he was doing it for. Or Tolkien's whole thing is that he was writing it from Bilbo because he feels like he's partly like Bilbo.
Yeah. With my main character as well, when I was saying like I didn't describe her very much, is because I want readers to kind of like, particularly female identifying readers, to put themselves in her place. Because like I don't mention her skin color, I don't mention her eye color, I don't mention her hair color.
I think that's actually important to do that, especially when we don't get enough female protagonists.
Kind of, like, body type she
Right.
has. Like I say in the book, like later on in the book, like she mentions that like she knows that she has like gotten more muscles and her body has toned a little bit, but she doesn't say what her body was like really before.
Interesting. Yeah, like
because I want people to put themselves.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that because I think it's important, because that's why things like an Outlander or a Twilight was so successful, is because they put a female character and like almost vaguely describe them a little bit so you can relate to them, because there's not a lot of female protagonists that women can relate to in a series.
Yeah.
Because growing up, we just named all the most popular books. Well, they're all written by men. Stephen King, Tolkien. That's why J.K. Rowling didn't write, like, made up a whole pseudonym as a man to get Harry Potter released.
Yeah.
See, for me, like, we were talking about favorite authors. Christine Feehan
Okay.
is currently my favorite author. I've read every book that she has published. I literally have a reminder on my phone when the next one's coming out next month.
I love that.
That's great.
Like, she writes paranormal romance.
Oh, okay.
And each one of her books, they're standalone, but they reference the world as an entirety, and it references other characters from other books.
So it's like, it's same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
But different parts of the world, basically.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I like that because like I was playing some games that do that. They reference, and they're all done by different developers, but they all work together. So they reference each other all the time, and like, oh yeah, it all connects. And sometimes they'll use the same images from someone else's to carry it over, like someone's house, because it was I guess they were doing. I guess the timeline was like, it was before the one guy's game, so he used the same house as that guy did, and they just worked together. It's like, oh, I sold it to this rich singer girl later on, and that references to like the next game that like someone else did.
Yeah.
That's cool when people do that kind of thing because it makes you like, oh, okay, I'm gonna look what this other person's done.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the intermingling.
Which is basically what you're trying to do too, because like you said, it's supposed to be kind of like a standalone, but also part of a universe.
Yeah, it's part of the same universe, and like when you're reading the next books, it's on the same planet.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and the characters in the next book, they don't even know that someone from another planet came to their planet. They don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's so far in their past. But like, you'll see references to that person, and you'll see, and like I said before, like this is at the end of a war, and in the next book they kind of reference it like a cautionary tale. They don't actually know if it happened, but they use it because like that world is at peace, and they use we don't want another 1,000-year war happening as a like, let's keep the peace kind of thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get any inspirations from the video game world too to kind of fill your ideas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age.
Yeah,
One of my friends who's reading it, clocked one of my characters right away. And yeah, he clocked one of them. He's like, I know who you're referencing here. And then he told a few of my other friends who's reading it, who don't follow the Dragon Age series, to be like, hey, like, look this character up when you think of this character that Hannah wrote about. They're probably very similar. So
Do you have any other projects coming up for you?
not that I'm gonna be releasing soon.
No.
Like the next, like
what's the next thing you're gonna do?
It's gonna be the next book. I already have the title. I know what's gonna happen in it. I already have some of it written. I just haven't allowed myself to come back to it until I was like completely done with this.
That's fair. Thank you, Devil. Devil put the link in the description for you guys in the chat for her book at her website personally. So get it right from there if you are interested for that. If you are from the local area, go get it in Oshawa. I know it's Oshawa. I know it's hard.
You can select local pickup, so you don't need to pay for shipping.
You just got to make it to the mall.
I was gonna say I'm going through Mike, so it works for me.
Yeah, but if you're someone like Yeti or Zod, and you guys are from the Coburg area, I know it's a scary fucking place because they're small town people, and I'm like, it's bad but not scary.
See,
you could just get to the mall and pick it up personally, or you can buy it right from the website. And either way, it helps the author directly. And when you're self-published, I think it's key to make sure you pay the author.
Mike.
So.
Yeah.
I have one very big problem right now.
Sure, Dev.
The cat part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
You said you know the title of the next book.
I do.
I need to know it.
Go ahead.
You piqued the curiosity.
It's gonna be called Death and Rest.
Nice.
That's actually good. I like that.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
I literally just thought of mine like 2 weeks ago. I was like, fuck.
I remember you telling me about
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have every book in the series that I have planned.
Oh, good.
Already named.
Oh, good.
This one was actually the one that gave me the most trouble with the naming, but once I figured it out, I'm like, perfect. And each one references different gods in the pantheon.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
So there's only one thing I've written, like, book-wise, story-wise, that I actually have a name for.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it came from an episode of Friends.
Okay. Cool. What was it? A Day in the Life of Gunther?
No, it's called Fireball.
Like the whiskey?
No. There's this episode where Joey's trying to write a book.
Yes! I know this one.
He picks up this freaking bowling ball and a blowtorch. It says like the name of this game he came up with called Fireball.
He's gonna like chuck it across the apartment with it.
And my brain instantly goes like, what if this was some kind of like futuristic prison combat thing where like you win and you get time off your sentence.
A very interesting way to get your sentence deducted.
Yeah. Was it like The Condemned but funnier?
Like, Mike, if you want, I can show you what I have.
Oh my god! I had a thing actually. I was writing a side thing too. It was a Batman series called it was Batman: The Last Arkham.
Required?
No, it wasn't that. It was Batman: The Last Arkham, and it was focusing on Jeremiah Arkham, the last of his family, going slowly, going crazier and crazier as the years went on.
I thought it might have been Don't Mind the Bat Boner.
No. These are all references to my streams, by the way. He's just Devil has a whole soundboard of them.
Yeah.
a lot of it may have been because of Harley Quinn. I don't know for sure, but
It makes me feel really weird because I was a Harley Quinn cosplayer.
oh no. Dev had me bring on a Harley Quinn cosplayer as a guest.
It was so
I
much fun.
knew a really popular Harley Quinn cosplayer, and one of her friends did Poison Ivy a lot, and would also do princess parties, but as like comic book characters. And
That's
I remember
awesome.
and I remember one year her friend couldn't go, so she asked me, and I'm just like, okay, like I feel really popular now because like these two girls are like really big in the cosplay community, and I'm like, how do you even remember my name? Like I said hi to you once.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember people sometimes, but like mostly if I met you in person, I'll remember the face, but it's like I couldn't tell you the name. I
I'm
don't
much better with faces than names.
couldn't tell you the
At
name.
my LARP,
With me-
I only learned names because of meal plan, and I'm in charge of it. And then people.
There you go.
Yeah, no, see, with me, you can be like, so and so said, to tell you hi. I'll be like, who? The one with the friggin', he's got blonde hair. Who? He drives the 55 Chevy Bel Air. Oh!
Yeah, you tell Deb the car, he'll know.
Yeah.
Oh, he drives the 2019 Kicks. Oh, that shitty car. All right. Well,
That shitbag.
that's my car.
Like I said, that shitbag.
It gets the point A to point B. That's the only reason I have it.
I like
Fair enough.
my car. It's like my little bumper car.
There you go. See?
Yeah, that's what everyone calls it. It's because it's a small car, and I'm just like it's good on gas and it gets me places.
That's all I care to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Devil. I'll never live any of this shit down ever.
I've had too many cars to count. Like, I learned in a Ford Windstar minivan, had a Jeep Cherokee, Dodge Ram pickup truck.
I'm so bad with Dodge Rams because I saw this like tagline once on
Okay.
the internet, and it's like Dodge the father, Ram the daughter, and that's all I every time I see
Sounds
a
about
Dodge.
right.
Listen, that sounds like an offshore mantra if I ever heard one. Sounds like an offshore mantra ever.
Well, look, you've got every car brand has their catchphrases that people come up for, like Ford, found on road dead, fix or repair daily.
That's funny that Devil says that because Devil's in the UK, so this is funny. I used to call my dad's last car a bumper car because it was automatic. I'm like, automatic? Aren't all... Oh, she's in the UK. They're not all automatic.
No,
Never mind. I just like I had to read. I was like, oh. So obviously you're a gamer also. Is Dragon Age the only thing you're into? Like, what are some of the other favorites you have?
Okay, so Dragon Age is a big personality trait. At the same kitchen that we met, Mike, before you were there, and when Inquisition first came out, it's literally all I talked about. So no one wanted to talk to me after a while because they're just like, she's just gonna bring up that freaking video game. But I love RPGs. I have a Dragon Age tattoo. I have a Skyrim tattoo.
Oh hell yeah!
I always come back to them. I started playing Baldur's Gate, and
It's great, isn't it?
it's It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing. I've cried like 3 times.
I was forced into playing that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. It's a commitment. Nebby and Yeti pushed me to buy it, and then I was like, no, I'm just committed forever.
Yeah, no. It's amazing. Like, I named 2 of my cats after characters now. Like, it's in my brain. It's a personality trait now too. But yeah, I play Baldur's Gate. And I love The Sims. I love The Sims.
Who I have to ask people this that play Baldur's Gate. Who do you romance the most in that game?
For me, so I'm still I have like 7 different tabs going on right now.
Okay.
But the one that I'm furthest along with is my first playthrough, and she's a monk, and she's with Astarion. And
I was gonna guess you're 100% an Astarion girl.
Though, because I didn't know who I wanted to romance going in, because like I'm a bi girly. I'm like, any of these people could work for me. But my conflict was I wanted someone like my husband. And he was saying how like he picked Shadowheart because of these traits, and also she's just a goth lady, so he was sold.
Okay,
was
that me too.
Yeah.
Shadowheart was mine too.
Yeah, but I was looking for someone who would remind me of my husband, and Astarion sassed me once, and I'm like, oh no.
So is your husband like Neil Newborn?
No, my husband just sasses me all the time. So I was just like, oh.
I was gonna say, if he has the same voice, that'd be awesome.
Oh, it would be awesome. My husband does have a most lovely voice. Like when I remember when I first heard him on the phone, because we were long distance first.
Okay.
And we were friends before that, but the first time I heard him on the phone, I was like, oh no. So...
Devil's like, Astarion is the easiest to start with. Is the easiest start, okay? Anyone can accidentally fuck him. It's that... Yeah. I find him and Gale, you could just like, Gale will be like, you want to see the lights with me? Oh, okay, cool, it's super casual. And then suddenly you're like naked in space, like, what happened? What happened? And like, I wasn't trying to...
So chill with me. He was like...
Gale's awesome though. He's like he's the chillest guy.
He's one of my good friends in the game. Lae'zel is my best friend in the game.
I fucking hate Lae'zel.
I
fucking hate Lae'zel so much.
I love her. She's so
I fucking hate Lae'zel.
I was able to hug her. I was so happy.
I do like Devil's a Karlach girl. There you go. Karlach is awesome.
One of my cats' name is Karlach.
Yes. Honestly, I think the next cat I'm gonna get. I think the next cat I'm gonna get is called Shadowheart. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's awesome. It's an awesome name for a cat. It's a great name for a cat.
My other cat is Minthara, and she is just angry all the time. Like her face is always like she's an angry lady. And then like now, like I'm low key regretting not naming our boy cat after a character in Baldur's Gate 2, because then it would just like round them out. But like his name is pretty cool too. But
yeah, I have a black cat named Plague.
Nice.
But it's not because of the death. It's because my niece watched this show called Miraculous, and the cat's name was Plague, Plagg. She didn't know that this French show didn't mean plague, like as in the death.
Yeah.
So now the vet spells it as in he's like the Black Death.
Black Plague. Yeah.
So, and I'm like, I call him Black Plague all the time now. It's like you're the Black Plague.
I have a bread starter called the Black Death.
That's true too. It's an accurate name for an angry cat.
I used to have a cat that was all black named Figment.
Your imagination.
Well, here you go. The only person he would actually come out from under my parents' beds for was me.
Oh.
I had a cat like that too when I was little.
He was my cat. I don't care what anybody else in the house says. He was my cat.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, every cat has a human.
Otherwise, he was just what you said. He was a figment of the imagination.
That's good. I like that.
No, our boy cat is a black cat, and he He's a hefty boy. He's a 13-pounder.
Yeah, mine
About
too. He's a big ass boy.
Yeah, he's twice the size of our girls, and they have like he all he wants to do is play, and they have no idea how to play with him because he's twice their size.
Yeah, Plague
And
just
they're
wants to
like,
go outside and like do things because I live in the country, so he just goes outside and does things, or he just sleeps all day. One of the two.
yeah, no, I got
It's always me.
my Minthara is sleeping behind me. She's the one that can get
Minthara is
upstairs.
awesome.
Yeah, she's just a little baby. Hold on. There she is.
Minthara, that is the most white looking Minthara ever.
Yeah, no, I call her my little slice of pumpkin pie smothered in whipped cream.
Jesus.
Love it.
But yeah, no, but it's her face. Like if she was awake, she would just look like really angry. It's something.
So who's your?
She's just like permanent angry.
So who do you think has like the best character arc in Baldur's Gate? Of like the companions.
Oh, that's a toughie.
Because I do like Shadowheart's character arc, but I find that Karlax is very interesting now that I've played Karlax a little bit.
Shadowheart's like her character arc, I cried at the end because
Oh,
she
it's
was
super sad.
Like, I was
It's
sad.
super sad.
Yeah, so her arc made me cry. Astarian's arc made me cry. Because, like, I don't give people what they want. I do what's good for them.
And Gale's like, you did this to yourself, Gale. You fucked a god when you shouldn't have. Like,
He was groomed. Poor baby. Okay.
No, I know, but still, like, come on. Come on, Gale. I feel for you, buddy, but yeah. Will and Karlak have no arc to start themselves.
I feel like
Will definitely doesn't. Will's the least
was
interesting.
Done dirty.
Yeah,
I feel like Will was done dirty.
with a great voice actor too. Ruined him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he was definitely done dirty. I really like the Dirge arc.
Of course you do.
Of course I do, but I'm trying to be good Dirge. So
How is
like,
that possible?
I can't bring myself to be bad Urge yet, but like when like I killed my precious Alfira, I was like
Okay.
panicking.
Yeah, like
oh no.
I didn't know anything about the Dirge until Yeti. We did a role playing thing. I had to go along with it. I was doing a version of Sterling Archer from the cartoon, and my friend was playing this ogre character that was like going full blown Dark Urge slowly over time. I was very upset for parts of that streams. I was cursing him. I muted my mic. Only my stream could hear me like cursing him. I was like, "Fucking Yeti!" I like fucking. But I had to like play the character off of like, oh, okay, I guess we'll continue on now. And
no, you gotta do redeemed Dirge. It's something.
Devil's Like Minthara is a great name for a cat. It is actually a good name for a cat.
It is, and she said she bites me for attention.
And yeah, like Will should have had like the stuff with his dad should have been way more interesting.
I think everything was just done dirty. I saw a lot of theories online saying people think Will was originally supposed to be like your starter character before. Like
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah. So
Because they were like a little tiny developer, so it's like they probably didn't have enough time to really plan out what Will's going to be like. He may have been like an afterthought. He could have even been added afterwards. Like, we need more companion options. We got to think of what we're going to do here.
yeah.
So there's a lot of work because they also wanted to nod to the old game. So like, okay, we need these two characters for the old games in there. Because obviously, you know, Jakara has like a lore that goes back if you're an old school fan of the games.
Yeah. There was I thought this was super cute of the developers to do this. There was a player's dad who played all the original Baldur's Gate games, and I think he was developing like dementia or something, or he had cancer and he was dying. I can't remember, something with his like he was shutting down, and the player's child went to the developers and told them about this, and they made an NPC based on him. So people have been looking for him in the game, and people are finding him, and like the player's kid like found him to show the dad, and the dad was like completely enthralled that he was in this game.
That's really
So
cool.
I thought that was just something really sweet that the developers did.
Honestly, I love when developers do that.
Evil runs also need more companions. Yeah, honestly, there's chances they could have done it. Like when you're in the Goblin camp, getting the Hobgoblin guy and Minthara in like the same camp would have been a really cool idea.
They're apparently, oh crap, what's his name? Daddy in the Shadowlands, what's his name?
Oh my god.
Beard. He's one
It's
of
gonna
the
bother me
baddies
too.
that you could have, apparently he was originally supposed to be recruitable.
Okay.
And like you can kind of see that in the dialogue, because you almost convince him to change in the dialogue, and then it switches. So it's like
Ketherick Thorm.
Yes, Ketherick.
Who also had the best and most talented voice actor in the game.
Oh, when he entered
J.K. Simmons is Ketherick Thorm? I was like, what?
Yeah, I was so excited because like my husband got early access to the game, so he was one of the people who was playing it like ahead of everybody else for like a year or so. So he knew a lot of the stuff that was coming. So like watching me like see all these things, I'm like, you didn't tell me this. He's like, no, it was a surprise. I'm like, like.
Minx and Boo were awesome too, and Dro Ragzlin would have been. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ragzlin would have been great companion. He would have been like the evil Karlach on your trip.
100%. Yeah.
Like, so, what would be like? What was your first experience in gaming? Like, what's the first game you remember playing as a kid?
Tomb Raider.
Nice. Okay, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, specifically Tomb Raider 2. I did play the original Tomb Raider after Tomb Raider 2, but my uncle, he got into computers like before computers got really, really big.
Right.
So,
my dad
like,
too.
Yeah, he designed me like he picked up one of those. I can't remember what they're called now. They're the big desktop square things.
Yes. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Had everything.
Yeah.
Have everything. He got me one that looked like a cat.
Nice.
Yeah, it had ears, it had stripes, it looked like a cat. It was so cute. And I played my Tomb Raider 2 originally on his computer because he used to live at my grandparents' house and I was always being babysat by them. So I used to play on his computer Tomb Raider. And then when I got my own computer, I would play Tomb Raider 2 on there. And the first Tomb Raider with my sister. And I remember, like, I don't remember a lot of the game. I remember the training grounds with the butler. And I remember one moment in the first Tomb Raider when me and my sister were, like, freaking out because we were being chased by wolves. And I'm like, run into the cave. We'll be safe from the wolves in there. And we went in there and there was a bear and we were both screaming and we slammed paws at like Laura Croft was like this and the bear was like this and we're like, we need to turn this off because we got so spooked. But yeah, no, Tomb Raider. And I actually went out as Laura Croft as a Halloween costume when I was like 7.
The game came out.
Knew who I was.
The game came out in 1997 for the youngins in the office in the audience. 1997 Tomb Raider 2. So back when it was glitchy. This is just before they got Angelina Jolie, basically.
Yeah.
Because after that they made him look like her until the more recent games.
Mm-hmm. Mike, you feel old?
I do.
I don't.
Well, I feel like I feel like you're closer to Deb's age, and I still feel older.
But no, I love Tomb Raider. I also played a lot of Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon.
Yep, played a lot of Zoo Tycoon.
That's awesome.
And Pets 5.
Oh,
Yep, those were my games.
So any animal related game you love? Hell yeah, Devil says. Hell yeah, Zoo Tycoon.
There's that pain in the back from the old age.
I think my back cracked. SimCity 2000. Oh god. Oh.
No, I didn't get into Sims until like my 30s.
Where's my denture cream?
My niece loves The Sims. She's murdered babies on my stream, and I'm like, why?
I I can't do it. I just want my Sims to have a happy life. One
I
of them died via like the Murphy bed, and I was like,
yeah, no,
I was so upset.
I can't do it either. My niece is like my sister and like my dad. There's a dark edge to them. They're internally always goth kids, even though they don't dress like that.
So, I certainly never, built the pool, had a bunch of Sims in it, and then built a wall around the pool.
That's exactly what Keely did on my stream, and Yuri, for example, was petrified because he's got a daughter. he's and she was, my niece is 12 doing this on stream.
No, the worst thing I did was I saw on Sims TikTok.
Jesus devil.
We're making little jails for men in their Sims houses. So I did that. I trapped a bunch of boys in the house.
That actually reminds me of an episode of Boy Meets World where Topanga's like, yeah, in our futuristic world, women are above ground and men are underground for breeding. I was like, whoa, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Devil says I used to have a gold digger sim that would marry people, then kill them, and then I got $1 million.
Yeah, no, that's a favorite storyline that I see people do.
Like, why do you do this?
It's for the drama.
My niece tried to do like rags to riches thing where she's just like trying to be like basically a singer at a bar, and then lured guys and stole money. I'm like, you're learning things you should not learn at 12. I'm just saying, you should not know how to do any of this.
A lot of weird things that 12-year-olds.
Yeah, I was like, how do you learn how to do this?
I was a 12-year-old girl once. Like I just like
Jesus, Devil. Devil said she did it when she was like 7. That's fucked up. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, love the Sims. Love the Sims.
So, outside of the gaming world, you said you do your LARPing thing. What got you into doing that stuff?
Okay, so a friend of mine that I met through cosplay runs a LARP. But before that, he LARPed, and he just said that I would enjoy it. And because I was a cosplayer, and I also love D&D, and LARP is basically D&D, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like he brought me with him, with his now like ex-girlfriend. He brought me to a game, and I enjoyed it. And then him and another buddy of mine decided to start their own LARP, and I'm just like, let me run the tavern. And they're like, okay.
So you just became tavern wench. Here we go.
Oh, I'm the local witch.
Oh no! Okay.
She's secretly poisoning them.
Oh
it's
no!
So fun. Everyone's afraid of me, and except like a couple people, but it's so fun. And like in October, it's like our spooky game, so I look very different at night, and everyone's just like, oh, like, is this normal? And in game, I have like a best friend who's like my like apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going behind me as I'm like glaring at people like, what do you mean I don't look different? And they're just like, don't talk about it. So like it's fun. It's really fun. And then they give me free range over meal plan. So I just come up with a menu for them for every weekend, and then I just cook it. That's my job there. I just go there to pretend I'm a witch.
That's awesome. Food. And you have like a whole get up and everything too, all set.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm also a pirate bard who's always drunk, and everyone loves
That's awesome.
Yeah, always drunk.
So Jack Sparrow bartender.
I walk around with like an old bottle of crack, and I fill it with like Pepsi or water. And people are starting to catch on that like she's super drunk, so they'll take it away from me. But I've caught on to them, so I have like a tiny bottle that I keep in my bra. So if they take that away, I just pull it out and start drinking.
So you're literally just doing Jack Sparrow. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. They're my two main NPCs that I play at that LARP, and it's a lot of fun.
There's a new tabletop. Devil's saying there's a new tabletop place near her that are fully decking it out, a role-playing room to look like a tavern. So that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's sick.
Just hanging out there would be awesome.
Oh, that's like in my ideal world where like if I didn't become a world famous author, I would love to have my own restaurant, and like and it would have like the medieval aesthetic.
Are you
I love
still doing
I
cooking
love
in your
themed
cooking in your daytime?
things. Pardon?
Are you still cooking your daytime to kind of like pay the bills, kind of thing, or like?
Yeah, yeah, but like
Well,
it
here you
would be
go.
more.
Once you
It'd
become
be
the rich and famous, author, you can open your bar.
maybe like
You can make it a
one of my
LARPing
friends
bar.
the friend who runs the LARP actually wants me to do the bar, and like everyone that goes to the LARP who knows my meal plan, they're just like, oh, we would go to that restaurant in a heartbeat. I'm just like, and we're actually starting to be known as one of like the best meal plan LARP, like the best LARP in Ontario to have a good meal plan. So like
There you
other
go.
LARPs talk about our meal plan because it's so delicious.
See, that's the thing. Like that'd be awesome. You could do like a LARPing bar. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, because I I picture like medieval times, but like small scale. So like you're just like walking in, and it's like you're in a different
Yeah,
century.
that's true.
And I
That'd
think
be
it would
really
just be
cool.
fun.
Here you go.
And like
That'd be
at
really
the
cool
table,
too.
you can roll your character. You can have like little dice there and roll your character sheet, and
That's a cool idea,
have
actually.
fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Here you go. One of your future books. Write it based around the bar, and then build the bar based around the book.
I actually write a lot about food in the book. I've had a few readers tell me like, your book is making me hungry. I'm like,
See?
Well, I'm sitting here and listening to you. You're making me hungry.
Yeah, Devil says she's also hungry. She wants food now.
Yeah, good.
Your bar would be what all new adventures would meet in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hello, weary traveler. It's like, oh no, what have we got ourselves into? As soon as they walk in, hello, weary traveler.
Greetings, adventurer.
Yeah, greetings, adventurer.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're awake. Like the Skyrim one. Like, oh, you're awake. I don't know.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah, no.
Just start having somebody talk like a Minecraft villager. Huh? Huh. Huh.
Oh God, stop it. No more of that. Fuck Minecraft. Say, oh, you're finally awake to anyone who passes out.
Up until I kicked a bunch of people off my server, and because I was minding my own business in my house, and one of my friends was being chased by a creeper and let it into my house, and then shut it in there with me, and they didn't know I was in there. And from my friends and their friends' perspective, they just started hearing me cuss, and then they got booted off. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, someone let a creeper into my house while I was in there.
So I banish you all.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like you actually like, I'm gonna boot these people from my life. They're gone.
Oh no.
I was like, damn, that's super petty, Hannah.
No.
That's super petty, but all right, you do you. Remember, never to piss you off at a server ever.
Oh no. Worst thing in person is like you get a bite. Like that's it. You're fine.
A bite? I don't know if I want that either, actually.
No. I bit someone at the kitchen we worked at once. Yeah, that was.
How did you not get fired
Was
at
it
that
Mike?
point? It was not
You
me.
want to know why I didn't get in trouble?
Why?
At the time I wasn't a supervisor, and when the person who I bit told the supervisor that I bit them, the supervisor goes, "Well, did she warn you?"
Was
And
it?
they go, "Yeah."
Was it?
And, and then the supervisor goes, "Then that's your fault," and left us alone. I'm like,
Was this the same chef that I was there for?
Yeah, Kim.
Of course it's Kim. Of course it's Kim.
Yeah.
Kim.
So funny.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Did she warn you?
Yeah,
that's your own dumb
I
fault.
said, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna bite you.
Chef Kim is like that. She's like, did she warn you first? Well, yeah. Well, then I don't care. Like Kim did not give a fuck. If it didn't affect her life, she did not care.
Yeah.
She was too busy with other things to care.
Yep.
Good old Kim.
No trouble for me.
Nope.
I'm like, I always showed up, so like, I wasn't gonna get in trouble.
Exactly. Always give a warning then. Part of it too, Devil, is because it's a unionized place, so if she's not a supervisor, she can't do anything about it until it was like unless like Hannah's got massive complaints of like mass biting, she can't get in shit for it.
Yeah, no.
That's how union places work. she has to get like mass in trouble from everyone to do that.
No,
What?
the
I
last.
was hungry and I thought he was a piece of steak.
No, no, he annoyed me. No, the last kitchen I worked at, the kitchen manager annoyed me so much that the manager of the restaurant said if he said one bad thing to me, he can't say one more bad thing to me or I would quit. And I remember he was like bossing around other people in the kitchen, looked at me, said my name. I shook my head at him, and he's like, "You keep doing what you're doing." I'm like, "Yeah." It got to the point where I just pretended he didn't exist, and it was all the other cooks found it so funny because I just didn't acknowledge him. Like, he did not exist to me. Like, your existence means nothing. Like, I just did my own thing. I got my work done. Food went out on time, so what was the issue?
Yeah, that's how especially the Osher restaurants. Like my food's always out.
Yeah.
I don't know what your problem is. I ran the station by myself. You guys all need partners.
Yeah. Get away from me. Like
Yeah, I was like I ran the middle station by myself. I didn't need a partner. Like we don't need. You guys have 3 people on salads. I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault. You guys can't do it. Like.
yeah.
Devil says Hannah just going around biting everyone. And
That was me in high school.
as long as she warns them first, she will never get in shit for it. Meanwhile, I choke slam one kid and I get banned from watching wrestling for a little while. I was told to defend myself, so I choke slammed him like I was Kane.
Look, I mean,
Dev can relate.
we won't talk about the things I did to the kids that bullied me. One of them may have ended up with a concussion, and
Oh,
one of
Jesus.
them may have ended up in a neck brace.
I think when I was in 3rd grade, I think the story went that I kicked a teacher in the shin, a supply teacher in the shin, and then she never came back.
In grade 9, I accidentally hissed at a teacher because I thought he was my friend.
I wasn't allowed to defend myself because I was stronger. Devil says, "Jesus, how small are the kids in your schools?" like, we're are they all leprechauns? Like what kind of kids are you going to school with? Like, I know Devil's probably not that small. I was just making fun of her. If it was like Gwen or Nebby's school, be like, did you guys go to like kindergarten with like other kids? Like,
I mean, considering the fact that Gwen could still pass for a kindergartner.
oh. I'm 5'8". Yeah, okay. Devil's tall for a woman. Never mind. 5'8". Never mind. See, I never knew because I never met Devil in person.
I'm shorter than that.
Most women are.
I was gonna say, like, you got Gwen and Nebby who are like
most
4 or 5.
Most guys are in our group actually. I think but some of us are pretty tall. Like Zod's pretty tall, and Yeti's like just above average height. But like I'm, like Dan's not super tall.
Like, in the time I've known you, from my back issues, I've actually lost 6 inches.
6 inches.
Yeah, 6 inches worth of height.
Hopefully, just your back.
Apparently, the older you get shorter anyways, so that might also be.
Yeah.
Well, so, most people sleep in a bed, and it gives their spine a chance to decompress.
Yes. Dev can't do that.
I have spinal stenosis,
Oh.
so I actually can't lay down flat. And most of the time, literally the chair I'm sitting in right now is where I sleep. So
his body, so his like his tailbone is like holding up the entire time.
Yeah.
So his body's like pushing
my back
down.
doesn't have that chance to decompress.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a joke. The Devil says it's a joke that I'm a 5'8" skull. Yeah, because she's a skull character on her stream, so she's just like a 5'8" skull, just a skull floating into the ether with devil horns.
Even when she's not using her freaking skull, she's just a floating head.
That's true. So sometimes a singing drunken one too, but you know.
Yeah.
For a while, it was just sea shanties for like a month. I was like, oh god, no more sea
Oh,
shanties.
I love sea shanties.
She shanties. They're all about girl pouties. They're all about she shanties. They're all about girls. You know?
Exactly. My favorite, I call it I can't say it now.
We have
I call
tongue-tied
it
the author.
Shanty, but it's just a song by Great Big Sea, The Mermaid. I love it. I love it so much. It's one of the songs I sing at the LARP as my my pirate bard, and it cracks everybody up because it's about like sleeping with a reverse mermaid. So
Well, on that note, this was a fun show. We actually hit our normal mark anyway, so it's just interesting how we caught off there. Make sure you guys please go to the site, get the book. Dev, don't worry, I'll get you the book.
Get me a signed copy with the little punch.
Don't make.
If you like
Oh
the
god.
book too, you can subscribe to my newsletter and might get bonus content.
Yes, exactly, and it will also include this video. Hopefully, I will get her that video so we can post it up on her site as well, so people can see this entirety thing and maybe get an actual like idea of who the author is if you don't already know who she is. Buy from the actual website. Devil says absolutely buy from the actual website because it goes directly to Hannah when you do that. But if you can't for whatever reason, especially in the U.S., you get Barnes and Noble, like she said, or Amazon, which is great, which is really cool. Normally the guest has a rate out, but I don't think you do much Twitch.
No.
So we'll get Dev to do that today. To pick someone.
Oh boy.
You have lots of friends we can rate out too.
Yeah, let me go find somebody.
Okay.
Like throwing me up on the spot here.
I can wait for the ad. Don't worry. Deb needs time anyway to filibuster, so it's fine. I know. I don't usually put you on the spot. I forgot Deb that she doesn't do Twitch, so I had to like, oh shit, we usually rate out, but the guest doesn't have the ability to do that today.
Yeah, I'm very not good with technology. It's amazing that I figured out Discord. Like
honestly, it's amazing for me too. And I wasn't even supposed to be a streamer. I was supposed to be like a head moderator. I'm just here. Dev's still figuring out the raid out. It's okay. It's totally fine. So yes, check out the book. It should be good times. Time, Swords, and Blood is out now. Dev, who have you got for us today?
We actually had her on the podcast, and she's currently doing a charity stream.
Perfect.
Today is actually the last day for it. Perfect. If I can get my thing to frickin'...
Speaking of charity streams, I will be doing one on November 17th for the hurricane relief in North Carolina for Project Hope with Sally and her crew. We're doing a 24-hour rally. I'm doing the great 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift as the early morning for me. So that should be a fun one to do. Yeah, that'll be fun. And I have my pink shirt. And I have my pink shirt for breast cancer because it's the end of the month for that as well. So yes, thank you for coming on, Hannah. I appreciate it. Oh, it's Demi. Inviting me. Yes, okay. We know Demi. Demi's great.
Yep. She's an amazing bird.
Devil, she's actually might be looking for somebody to fill a slot. I can let you know if you want. Because Sally needs one more person to fill a slot for it. So if you want to do that for us, Devil, that'd be excellent. I can see if she still needs that slot open. Yes, I'll let her know. So yes, we're gonna go do the raid out now. Filter, thank you. I hate that Twitch changed the thing where it's hard to find the people that you actually have following for raids now.
Yeah.
Because like I have to like, there we go. There is Debbie. Okay. Because it gives you a bunch of recommendations. It's like, well, that's not what I wanted. I like. Demi is doing the Dark Picture Anthology Little Hope, which is actually a fun one. I've seen people do that one before. I haven't played it myself, but it's a fun one to do. So we're gonna go there. Demi's great. Thank you guys for coming by. We'll be back tomorrow. We're back to our wrestling program. We have our last 2 weeks of that. And then I might do a Halloween thing in between where I'll do Dead Space. Until next time, thank you guys for coming by.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, freaking, like I said,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the reasons why it took me for a while to do any of my projects. Is because I couldn't focus on one at a time. What?